Welcome. This is Papaloy,
Papa Ben.
and this is Tatay Time, exploring the world of fatherhood with philosophy, science, and art. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and happy new moon to Cagayan City. Yeah, we remain under the Jupiter light for this new moon.
But yeah, it's a special day too, since it's National Heroes Day.
Indeed, it is.
And before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to our grandparents, which is personally my heroes too, both on my mother and our grandfather, Lolo Ros. So he was a soldier. So just to give some sort of a tribute to him for tonight, we'd like to dedicate this episode also to him. So,
Yeah, and the First Lady.
Yeah.
Behind every good soldier.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, you know, Papalo, I gotta apologize ahead of time for anyone that's listening to this and thinks that they're gonna get a how to be a father. This is not the podcast for that.
No, definitely not.
Sorry if you're here for that, but go check out those other.
There are other channels for that.
There are definitely.
Do you
this
know
is
how
not.
to be a father?
Yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing. So don't come here looking for advice. All right. So
we're never giving one, of course.
You've been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned. Other than that, since we mentioned our grandfather, it's National Heroes Day, and there's no class, no work for some people. It depends. But also, it's a day where we remember people who are actually serving now. And we'd also like to thank them, our men and women in uniform, everybody who's in the front lines. I mean, they're the heroes here in this whole chaotic scene in this movie that we're living right now.
No wonder the nurse is on a
Strike,
shortage.
and they're on strike
Some
too.
are on strike because of their whatever they believe.
Yeah, take care of those people. Come on, like really.
Yeah, they need to be taken care of. Give them a pass to the spa. Let them get a massage or
Most
something.
people are tired, man. And of course, kudos to them. They're the ones who's in the front lines right now. Not just their soldiers, also to them. They're personally heroes of mine as well, since they're literally protecting us right now. Well, when people say thank you for your service, for protecting the country or for defending the country, when you're in the West, it's mostly like non-existent because there are no wars going on in your backyard. Here in the Philippines, war is literally in your
just
backyard.
over here in the mountains.
Yeah,
I've seen the explosions.
exactly, and
My own eyes.
That's why I think our servicemen needs to be, at least we should acknowledge that, like how Americans treat their soldiers, right? It's so thank you guys. I mean, it's National Heroes Day. You guys are heroes too.
Let's
So-
not forget the frontliners that bring us our internet connection.
Everyone.
The linemen,
Everyone, yeah.
the technicians.
True.
We have a cousin who is in that profession, and he told me a story about they're just climbing some wires, and there's some war going. People are shooting each other down in the distance from where they are because they're in the mountain. They have to hike up, and it's like it's the tropics here in the Philippines, so it's super wet, and you might come across some tropical rain in the mountain, and it's just like a mess trying to get to the towers and service the lines. It sounds crazy, like a crazy
being a
job.
lineman should be hard. It must be. I don't know.
Oh,
Have you ever watched like Mike Rowe? You remember Mike Rowe? Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. That was one of my favorite shows ever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How could you not love that
Yeah.
show?
I mean, my old man and I used to watch that a lot when he was still alive. So it's always I have fond memories of Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe was also my dad's favorite, one of my dad's favorite TV hosts.
I still remember that episode where he put on like a scuba suit, like an old style scuba suit, to dive into like a septic tank. It was so
I
gross,
know, right?
Jesus.
But some people have to do it.
Yeah.
And if without those people, I mean, our society wouldn't really function that as we wouldn't be as comfortable if those people don't do the dirty jobs.
Yeah.
That's why Mike Rowe, I think he
Absolutely.
was on Joe Rogan one time. I love his argument in.
Was he really?
Yeah, I
didn't
think
watch
so.
that.
I remember.
Damn, I gotta watch that one.
I remember
Or
watching
listen to
that a long time ago, and he
Really, it's been a long time.
yeah,
Wow.
he made a good point there, where because most of us are seeking a college degree, and then He argues that,
Most Asians,
yeah, like you don't have to. You can be a plumber as long as you do a good job. That's a difficult job,
for
man. I
sure.
mean, some people just
It's a profession.
probably would just neglect it, but you wouldn't have stable water without those people
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
doing
totally.
the whole repairs and all,
Can you imagine if
installing
your
that.
septic tank was overflowing every day?
Yeah.
That
And
would be
that's a
ridiculous.
respectable job. I don't know
Yeah.
why people like mock, or not really mock, but look down on garbage man who collects
No, they
the
should
garbage
never.
collector.
Who
Yeah,
who would look
I
down
see
on?
them pass by
Yeah,
every day, man, and you have to deal with that
yeah.
like every single
And
day.
here the garbage is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah.
If people think being a garbage man is ridiculous in a place like the U.S., they should try to be a
Yeah,
garbage
and we
man
should pay
here.
them well too.
Oh, we should.
I mean, would you
They
do
should.
that? Would you do that for $6 an hour,
Damn.
$7 an hour?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Props to those guys.
Yeah,
Are
the
true
dirty jobs.
heroes of our city,
Yeah,
comfortable city life.
probably the unsung heroes.
Yeah. Give those guys a beer.
Yeah, true. I mean, respect, man.
Yeah.
You just can't appreciate it unless you're there.
And here they don't even have those fancy trucks that lift the garbage up, with a mechanical arm.
Hmm.
They're doing it by hand.
I know, right?
I mean, if people have never seen this, maybe they just come here for vacation and never notice. But the garbage gets picked up very manually here, and a lot of times this garbage is spread all over the street because stray dogs have been going through the garbage and they get spread, dirty diapers. I see that jogging all the time.
Right.
See deer, it's disgusting. So the garbage situation here is the most ridiculous scene ever.
Yeah.
So if you think
There's
a
no
garbage
proper
man,
waste
the
management here.
garbage people here are just, yeah, they should definitely be compensated more.
It makes me think also because I remember this speech by, of course, most people probably know him for sure, Martin Luther King. When
Might have heard of him.
right?
Think I heard of that
I
guy
remember one of the speech. It's a very famous one, I guess. He was saying like, if you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper in the world, or at least aspire to be. It doesn't have to be some type of job that's respectable. Like you're some type of a lawyer, an
Right.
engineer, a nurse, doctor. I mean, we can respect the profession or that kind of if you're in that industry, in that job, as long as you aspire to become the best in what you do. And there's a message there because everybody wants to be like the top honcho always. We seek for the jobs that I think fit most in our idea of how society will respect us. That's why I love that idea of micro where the dirty jobs are not respected well enough. And even you as an individual who's doing that should respect yourself. Like I have nothing to be ashamed of if I collect garbage or if I sweep the streets. I'm
Clean
doing
toilets,
something, yeah.
whatever.
As long as I'm trying to be the best
Right.
in whatever I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be compensated. That's why do we pay them the least for doing the dirtiest
It's
job?
a mystery.
It's crazy,
It's a
right?
mystery to me. I
You
don't know.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Would you go to the sewers and
No, man.
dive there?
I would be happy if that's where my tax dollars were going to.
Right.
Like if the garbage people were treated well and there was they had the right accommodations to do their job cleanly and safely, and they had insurance and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true.
I would be happy. I was like, yeah, take care of the garbage and I'll pay my taxes.
Yeah, right.
But when you pay your taxes and they don't take care of the garbage, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's why also, I mean, in relation to that with our kids, because we always dream about them to be in a profession that's highly respected, right? I want her to be a doctor,
Yeah.
him to become a politician, whatever.
There's nothing wrong with being
Yeah.
a professional cleaner.
That's why
What's wrong with that?
it's also important to teach them that to respect those professions. At least when they
Sure.
become leaders, they would respect like what it takes to do that kind of job, and then maybe in their time, the society they build would be something that's much more fairer than what we have right now.
Yeah.
So it's important to not really tell them to become like doctors and lawyers just for the respect, but to tell them if you want to be this, it has to be something from what you really aspire to do because you really want to improve not just yourself but your society, right? So it's okay to be a garbage collector as long as you do some things being a garbage collector and trying to improve. And how do I you study? How do I do proper waste management? How can I improve my job? This type of activity, right?
Mm.
You work together with your peers. So the way we educate our children when it comes to careers is more on the idea of gaining respect because of the position that you want them to be in the future. I mean, I was raised that well as way, and I understand. I mean, our parents had ambitions for us. I may not be in the position right now that is considered respectable in some ways, but
They're
I,
baby boomers.
yeah, but
They have a very
I did
specific
try.
idea.
Yeah, I did try, and there were times in my life where my father was really had an approval, and I saw that, and it made me proud of myself that my
Mm.
dad was proud of me,
For your
right?
profession.
Yeah, for my profession
Yeah.
because it was the one that was acceptable
Mm.
at that time until now, and I'm sure it's not gonna change. Even I fall victim to that. I wish my daughter is gonna be a scientist someday.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
gonna be
sure.
some big time astronomer one day.
Yeah, it's gonna
Really famous,
go to
write a few
Mars, man.
books. Yeah, one of the few people to go to be some like first woman, first
Yeah,
man, whatever.
first Filipino
Yeah, you'd
female.
always dream that, but we forget that the other thing for me the important thing even that the roles that we teach them somehow sometimes can't be the most prestigious, but if we teach them that it can be respected if you respect the profession
Mm.
and then respect the activity in service of your society. I mean that's just a pipe dream. I know I'm just
Yeah.
being sort of romantic right now, but that's how I see it at least. Whether
Yeah.
we agree with it or not.
Well, there's definitely people who are doing professions that are servicing their communities
mm, mm.
and doing fine.
I mean
That's
ideally that's how I see it.
it's not like you can't make a living doing that,
Mm.
helping the community. There are ways that's being done for sure.
What else?
Yeah,
Hell,
I think that requires like a lot of self, yeah, like a low ego to be able
mm,
to do that and look at really what you desire in life and be able to know like is that really what I want, or is that my ego telling me
mm,
that's what I want?
mm,
Am I actually jealous and that's why I'm climbing this
mm.
corporate ladder or
Or
something
some
like that?
people just call you like you have no ambitions.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play the game, you're just you're a loser.
Yeah.
That's how it is sometimes.
I've been thinking a little bit, because when your daughter starts going to school, at least when our daughter started going to school, you start thinking about, naturally though, people are gonna say what the ambitions they have for their kid to be, a
Mm,
scientist, a
yeah.
doctor. At 18 years old, when you have a lot of options other than going to college.
Mm,
It's not the only option, but it seems to be like the most expected option. I'll just call it
mm.
that way. It's like,
Going to college
yeah, but
for a
there's
big party.
for yeah, for a big part. Exactly. Maybe it's worth waiting a little bit longer for the kid to mature, for your and have them do an OJT or some volunteer work or just travel. Right, I was telling the wife, it's like maybe she just gets an internship somewhere in another country,
Mm,
gets to do some independent stuff, gets to do service work. That would probably be like a big focus of it, maybe something along those lines, and really get a understanding of what
the world
life
is.
means to her,
Yeah.
right? Like she can go find her own meaning
Mm,
of life and what it means to be of service. And if she decides she wants to go climb the corporate ladder, then I guess
that's her choice. That will be her
I'm
choice.
not
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, you should definitely do that.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be successful if you really work hard in that setting.
Mm,
I mean, I've seen my own dad succeed in the corporate world, and it
yeah.
got me to the point where I'm at right now. It paid for my education, my comfort.
Mm,
I guess I wouldn't be this way without his. So that's why I don't criticize him for that. But I understand
yeah.
why he had to spend a lot of time working, and it did take me a while to understand that. But I was aware when I never really I think took it against him
Mm.
when he wasn't really present all the times, every birthday.
Sure, sure.
Until now, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's how some fathers sacrifice
Mm.
for their children to live at least a comfortable life
Yeah.
that we would be dreaming of, and you have to sacrifice. For him, it was time.
Mm.
So at least for me, time lost, but
Yeah.
there was something gained there. I was able to
Mhm.
get a proper education at
Sure, sure.
least, and I'm glad I graduated. So it
Mhm.
means I didn't waste it.
Yeah. You took full advantage.
But yeah,
Probably some
yeah,
people
I
would
understood
say.
that. I
Yeah.
understood. That's why even if it took me a while to appreciate it, but I tried really hard to at least finish it because I
Mhm.
know that they worked hard to get me in that place.
Yeah, I think we have not really like the same, but we have a similar profession because I started also doing the climbing the ladder kind of thing, and you were doing like technical part of sales, right?
Mm,
Like do it on the field. Like I worked on the field a little bit, and
yeah.
man, you can look at how tired some people are
Yeah.
doing their job.
Jeez.
Like man, and there's some high expectations out there,
Mm.
you know.
And
So
purpose too. I mean, have you
sure,
ever
sure,
asked yourself, what the fuck am I doing here?
yeah,
Like really, right?
right, right.
Per, I hope not, but I really believe like every dude goes through that phase. It's just
Asking the question.
yeah, it's like what the fuck am I doing
Hopefully
here?
everybody does, right? Like yeah. Hopefully
I've been
more
through that
often than not.
situation like a lot of times. Probably every job that I was doing is like, am I really doing something?
Yeah.
But then again, I can't afford to do that now. When I was
Yeah.
single, okay,
But
just
you probably
leave.
could if you really had to.
Yeah,
Like
but
if
I'm now. I'm of course. Even if I don't like what I'm doing, as per like doing tasks, whatever
mm,
job you're
right, right.
currently doing right
Money
now,
making
but you
stuff.
have to, right? There's
Right.
no. You're in a point where it's just inescapable. You have to do shit that you're not comfortable with because your family needs to survive.
Mm,
I mean, sometimes some men had to work in the mines and die there just so
hmm.
that their families could eat at least once a day. All you have to do right now is like sit in the computer, but sometimes we hate it, right? But we do it. But before, when I was single, I was like, ah, fuck, I'm just gonna leave this shit. Go look for something that I'm passionate about. You're
Yeah.
some kind of a dreamer, but some people achieve that,
Sure, sure.
and kudos to them. And I guess every dude also dreams of that. Like I wish I was doing some the things that I like and then get compensated for it. Maybe not more than 90% of the population like us are stuck with just doing the grind
Yeah.
the old-fashioned way.
Have you seen a little bit of the backstory of Diaz, our Olympic gold medalist in powerlifting?
Yeah, Hidilyn Diaz.
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus, now that's the definition of fucking hard work and just grinding it out
yeah.
and just staking the whole shit and winning in life.
It's
It was so
incredible.
inspiring, man. I mean, really. We've talked about hubristic pride before, right? And versus authentic pride. It's like actually because she's Filipina, so I'm proud
Uh huh.
of being Filipino.
Hmm.
So, but really, I was so proud of her.
Her story is still awesome,
Yeah, it's awesome. It's inspiring.
for
It's
sure.
really fucking inspiring. The way how she won, and it was the first gold medal of the country, of the Philippines. It can't get any better than that. I
Yeah.
mean, just watch it. I mean, if you're not from the Philippines, you're not familiar with Hidilyn Diaz.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, go search for her winning. I mean, we can watch it now at least. It's only a minute long, I guess. So it would be a good time to hold on, people. We're just gonna.
While you pull that up,
Yeah, well, we
did you
have no
know?
Jamie here.
Yeah, we have to. Did you
So
know that she was stuck in another country
yeah, I think
due
it
to
was
COVID?
yeah for months. She had
Long
to
time.
train there
She
with
had to train outside of her own country, like all of her. Totally set up a new
the
gym,
new
basically.
gym
It's
and
like,
with basic equipment.
wow, nothing but you and your team there. I was like,
Right, right.
whoa, that is
So there's
crazy.
like a good story here. And
Yeah. You know about the foundation that she does with teaching under different communities their kids. She teaches kids how to power lift.
Nice.
She has a program.
That's good.
I forget what it's called.
And now she has millions of pesos. I'm sure she's going to
Yeah.
use some of that for developing the sport. So kudos to Hidilyn.
Awesome. That would be
It's
awesome.
National Heroes Day, so it's a fitting that we talk about her. So, all right. Here's the winning moment video. It's about a minute and 48 seconds long, so it shouldn't be that.
2008 in Beijing, China.
There you go.
The journey of
All right, so
Hidilyn
this is a minute
Diaz.
long. But, the winning
From a
moment
youngster
from Hidilyn Diaz.
competing for her very first Olympics back in 2008 in Beijing, China,
Looking strong, man.
Yeah.
to 2012 in London, to winning the silver medal back in 2016
What's so
in
great
Rio
about
de
this is
Janeiro,
that
Brazil.
Amidst
Down to
the
this one lift
the
at
whole COVID
217
thing,
kilograms
we got some
for the
like
gold.
winning moment here in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
And
So
this
here
is
it goes.
the way it works is they have multiple lifts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How many lifts did she do before this?
I think that was probably 2.
And it goes going overhead.
There
Bam!
you go.
Philippines, the wait is
Damn.
over! The gold is yours!
Just her reaction, man. Jesus, yeah.
This is the first time I think I actually watched this
Hidilyn
clip.
Diaz,
Yeah.
the gold medalist of the women.
So anyway, yeah.
Damn, son.
That was like a cool moment. Even after she realizes she won, you can just see the struggle she had in her face and her reaction to
Amongst all this madness.
Yeah, and
all
against
this
China.
craziness going on right now.
against China too.
Yes.
And that was one of the best weightlifters
it
I've
was
heard.
epic, dude.
Yeah,
It was like Rocky for weightlifting.
exactly. That was like a rocky moment for
Totally. man.
Hidilyn. It was epic.
Yeah.
And I'm sad I didn't see it live. I only saw the
didn't see it
replay
live
because I
either,
was
yeah.
working. But when I saw it, I was just, wow! Like you
Yeah.
felt it. You felt it. Like,
Yeah, and on that note, it's good to also pay tribute to our other heroes, the Paralympians.
oh,
They're
yeah.
representing
Yeah,
the man in doing pretty well, having multiple
That's good.
high level performances out there is going on in Paralympics right now.
Nice.
Pretty badass.
It's still in Tokyo. Tokyo, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, there's a guy that they, he's not from the Philippines, I forget what country, but he's like, he has no arms playing table tennis, man. He what do you call it? He serves the ball with his foot, and then he holds the paddle with his mouth, and he's just like,
Nice.
you know,
I couldn't do that.
yeah, it's crazy.
I have like
Unbelievable stuff.
fully
that he-
functional arms. There's no
yeah,
way. Yeah.
I have all 4 limbs. I ain't doing shit. I'm just, I'm nothing compared to what these guys got. Like half legs. Like they don't even have their whole legs, and they're
Oh.
like high level competition. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The volleyball guys, you see them? They all sit down, and they're just pushing around on the floor and doing volleyball. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
It's inspiring to watch, especially
Completely inspiring.
especially just like competing on that level.
Dude, a one-legged high jumper. A one-legged high jumper, like Jesus.
Yeah, it's the human spirit, I guess.
It's amazing.
Even if you lost some limbs, you still have that desire to just test yourself, whatever, physically, mentally, and people do that for years and years and years. So yeah, that would be a good topic for the next episode. I mean, tune into that. We're gonna have a special guest, so we'll talk more about sports in that episode soon. So tune in.
Yeah, there was some big news recently about the rover on Mars and the second sampling that's going to be done. Did you catch that
Yeah, they
news
were
clip? Oh man,
drilling
that is some
for-
big
I
news.
know. And
They're
Elon
gonna-
Musk has a robot now, a
Yeah.
Tesla robot.
A Tesla robot? Yeah, really?
Yeah, I don't know the details yet, but they
Wow.
just
A
unveiled.
Neuralink robot?
No, it's more like a robot a helper robot. I guess.
Okay, so it's like an AI robot.
I guess so.
Okay.
I don't know the details yet. I just saw the presentation, so I need to check
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah, so apparently the first sample collection that was attempted by Perseverance was it crumbled.
Yeah, I heard
just
it failed.
crumbled, right? Yeah, it failed. So now there's a scheduled second collection where they're looking at a rock that's supposed to be more promising for a collection, right? Something like that. Which is going to be crazy because then they're going to be able to bring it back to Earth, they
Yeah.
said. I was like,
That's the next step.
wow,
Actually, they're
that
gonna
is
send a
insane.
craft that's gonna pick up the samples and
Wow.
send it back to Earth
Wow.
for further analysis.
That's incredible.
So yeah, things are just getting more and
Trying
more
to
interesting.
trying to figure out if
And
we
the
can
James Webb Telescope is launching. I hope so. It's not gonna get delayed.
what is that?
Sometime next year, I think. It got delayed a lot of time. I've been waiting for the telescope for fucking years, man.
Where is it going? Where is it going?
It's gonna be bigger than the Hubble telescope.
They're just shooting it out.
Yeah, like I
where?
heard it's farther than the moon.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, sorry if I get it wrong, but it's far out, and yeah, it's gonna look for a lot of new.
Is it coming
shit.
back or it's not
No,
coming
no,
back?
no, it's gonna
not
be
coming back.
there,
It's just
yeah.
like they're gonna see
Yeah.
whatever they can collect from.
So it's bigger. Of course, bigger is better in astronomy, especially with telescopes. So tune into that. I'm definitely watching it the whole time. Every month I try to keep up with the news, but it gets delayed a lot, like a lot. So maybe. Yeah, we were talking about traveling or a while ago. I remember, like encouraging our kids to see the world. I'm actually having second
Yeah.
thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I'm sure
Like,
every
really?
parent does. Yeah. Probably
Jesus
have more
Christ.
than second thoughts.
I'm scared.
Sure.
Like
How could you not be?
I've traveled. I've gone to places that are considered dangerous, but I still did
yeah.
because I was curious.
New York is a dangerous place.
And it's a concrete jungle, but
Yeah.
not just New York, but in places here locally.
Yeah.
Um,
Gogon is a scary place.
it's not that's dangerous.
No,
as
it's
to,
not-
like, to
it's not. I
Make
go-
it
I go
sound,
there at
but
night.
it's
It's fun.
fairly. But I'm scared of having my child do that in the future after what I've fucking seen.
Sure. You,
I
you,
mean, really.
you have an idea of the possibilities
Yeah.
that are out there, and they're
It's
they're not
insane.
all comfortable thoughts.
Yeah, especially like out of the country. I mean, this country is kind of
Any-
dangerous.
Anywhere.
Let's say
Yeah.
for you foreigners out there that are planning to come here, come here. It's a good place. There's a lot of foreigners here. They enjoy it, but just pick the places. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm promoting my country. That I love it, and there's thousands of places you can visit that are safe. But do your research. I'm just saying. You know the place. I mean, people will tell you where to go, where not to go. If you know some locals, ask them. There are places here that are dangerous. Just a reality check. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Most places there are.
Yeah, man. There's one thing I regret just watching those fucking cartel videos.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! I have to tell you, don't even go there. Don't search for it. If you
But now we got to. Now we got to search.
now you're. But I'm telling you, people, if you're listening, you realize the reason why I watched it. It's not torture porn. It could be for some people. Some people enjoy it. I asked myself that when I watched it. It's
Sure,
like, why am I watching this shit?
Do I enjoy this?
Yeah, but I just reminded myself, yeah, this is a learning process for me as well, just to remind me how dangerous this fucking reality is.
Uh-huh. Sure.
God damn it, man! It really affected me
Yeah.
until now. Oh, what I saw. I wish I did not
Yeah.
fucking have to see that, but I did.
Yeah. And how do you teach that in the future?
Yeah.
Like to know
It's crazy.
like there's this ridiculous side of humanity that
Yeah, the amount of evil that you see on those fucking people, man, it's unbelievable to the point where you think this shouldn't be real. This shouldn't be real. I'm
there's a lot
I'm
of things
kidding.
like that. Yeah.
I'm not kidding. This shouldn't be real. I mean, how can some people just even conceive of this activity itself on that level? It's crazy, man. Fuck. You've seen execution videos like at some point in your life. Have you seen some
Oh,
snuff
sure.
videos?
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I'm not even that, let's say, squeamish when it comes to violence or violence in media and movies. I've seen a lot, but the shit that I've watched, it's just so fucking insane that I find it hard to comprehend it. Like in reality, like, is this fucking real?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is video. I'm just gonna say it, but don't fucking even try to watch it if you're planning to.
Yeah.
It's called a Funky Town video from a cartel execution.
I haven't seen that one.
Anyway, so you see the dude being tortured. I don't know what he did. He must have
Damn.
done some fucking terrible things in his, or must have maybe offended the cartel
Yeah,
that
to be there in
to
that
be
place.
there.
Jesus.
And they peeled off his skin,
Ugh.
and you see it. You see the whole shit happen.
Damn, they skinned him? Oh
He's
my
skin alive.
God.
He has no arms.
Oh my God.
They're slicing his face
Wow.
and his throat. He's alive, and
Jesus.
the whole time he's doing that is of course like in pain and is
Sure.
trying to hold his face, but suddenly you see that he has no arms anymore, or he has no hands because they chopped it off, and you see it like because of the pain he's trying to like
Yeah.
touch his face,
Oh my God.
but then he realizes he has no hands, so you can just see the bones there.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my fucking God. And then this video, Ghost Rider. I know I'm telling you, you're not supposed to watch it. Don't. I'm telling you this as a warning.
I
The
saw that
Ghost
movie.
Rider
I saw
video,
that
yeah. And you know why it's called the Ghost Rider? Because the cartel leader who was captured by the rival cartel is named Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
His
is that right?
alias.
No.
Because he likes to burn his enemies
Damn.
alive.
Holy
And
shit.
he likes watching them burn.
Damn.
So when
son.
they captured him, it's sort of like a comeuppance in a way where you don't know if you have to feel bad because he has to suffer the same fate, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you know how brutal the method is because you feel bad for him, even if you know or you're aware that this dude is a fucking murderer. He's
Yeah,
like an evil person, but
That's
you still
nuts.
feel bad for him because you see his whole face like melting because they burned him the same way.
Damn.
They peeled off his face and then poured gasoline or alcohol, I don't know,
Jesus.
but you can see it burning.
Oh my
And he's just
God.
saying like, kill me in Spanish. Kill me now. And you can hear
Jesus.
his voice like in just fucking pain and shock, and they give him drugs so he'd stay alive for
Oh
days
my
while they
God.
torture him.
While they burn him
They
alive.
burn him alive, and you see that in the
Damn,
video,
son. Jesus
and my
Christ.
eyes were burned
Damn.
after watching that. I wish I did not watch it.
Yeah.
Don't search for it. I'm telling you, it's gonna
I
give you
don't
fucking
think I'm gonna
nightmares.
watch that.
But that's the reality check for me.
Jesus.
And the
Yeah,
worst one
sure.
that I had to stop it was the Morocco incident.
I didn't see that.
Those
one
two, I think they were from Netherlands. I forgot. Anyway, my facts could be wrong.
either.
But there were two hikers, women, who decided to go to Morocco and take a hike by themselves, go to the
Okay.
mountain,
Wow.
and they were sexually assaulted and beheaded. And
Damn.
the fucking terrorists made a video. And when I watched it, it was the one that
Jesus
disturbed me the most because that's somebody's daughter.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I know they were not cartel leaders. They were
Yeah.
just innocent, wide-eyed young girls who were just looking or, just want to see the world, as
Sure,
we've
sure.
said.
Experience
It, see the good in the world, see the beauty
Sure.
of it. And they
Ugh.
end up in that fucking...
something. Damn.
That's why, man, I'm
That's-
telling you.
Brutal shit.
And I wish I didn't watch it. That was the worst one for me.
Yeah.
And I had to stop it like midway.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was crazy.
That's not exactly the thing I'm hoping, like, to
Yeah.
go for my kid to go
Oof.
on a random hike. But yeah, I suppose it's possible.
Yeah.
You can take a random hike anywhere in the world and get attacked.
Because
That's
that was a reality
ridiculous.
check for me. I mean,
Jesus
for us
Christ.
men, yes, we can do that, but we can still fall victim to that anytime.
Sure, sure.
But maybe least likely than women, because it's always women that most of these fucking jackasses target.
yeah.
And that's a problem too. I mean, just leave them alone, man. When they're going to India, I heard
Yeah.
some tourists complain a lot because the locals there, especially in those areas where people just stare at you and grope them.
Really?
Yeah, they would just grope the women
In
anytime in
public?
the train in public.
What the fuck
So
is that?
a lot of the some of these YouTubers or travel the travel vloggers.
Jesus.
They complain a lot about some places in India. I'm not saying all the Indians are
Right,
doing
right,
that,
right,
but there are
right.
dangerous places there, just like here in the Philippines.
Sure, sure.
If you come here, there are places here that are really nice. All the people are nice, but there are places where you should avoid. I'm just saying, do
Yeah.
your research. I'm not gonna say where.
Right.
Because there are
Jesus.
places where it's fucked up, man.
I
And
mean,
even here, it's fairly civilized here. We're not exactly one of the most progressive cities in the world, maybe.
yeah.
We are fairly progressive here, but when we go to at least in our farm in Logonglong, you can see the war there. You can see the
Yeah.
bombings,
Yeah. I
the
can
planes
literally
dropping
see it.
bombs, literally. And, it's a normal thing. It's not every day, maybe once in a few years, but you get
Hopefully
to see
not.
it.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's not exactly
Be terrible to see that every
the
day.
perfect place where you see on the ads like what's our tagline? It's more fun in
Boracay.
the Philippines. It
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is. It's a great country.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, and you should visit it. I'm just saying, do your research again. I watch too many violence online, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish I didn't.
That's
Holy
some
shit.
craziness,
Yeah.
man.
It
Yeah, so I guess there's at some point in your life, once your kid goes to a point of independence, you just kind of have to hope that they can come to you and tell you anything. I
mm,
guess that would be you just have to accept that like you have no longer any control over the situation. That's probably very difficult to let go of, after a lifetime of taking care of a human being,
mm,
and then having to go like, well, I don't have any more control of what's going to happen to
yeah.
you. Whatever you want to experience, like I hope I trained you properly. Like, that's all you got to say is like, I hope I did something correct here.
Like, well, you should say, like, Dad, I want to go to Africa and help the people, or in Afghanistan and be
Yeah, I'm
some
gonna be like,
peacekeeper
that's
there. I mean,
awesome,
yeah, that's
but you
awesome.
know what?
But yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Is it worth it? Is
yeah.
it worth saving?
I hope you thought this through.
Yeah,
It's not just something your
your
friends are doing.
instinct would probably first you would try to stop them. It's like, really? If you have a son, he wants to be a soldier, I'd probably say,
Like, you might want to think twice
yeah,
about
you
that.
want to think
Maybe 3 or
twice.
4 times, 5
Yeah.
times.
It takes a lot, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad he would probably want to serve the country if I
Sure.
had a son. I
Sure.
mean, our grandfather did it, but
Mm,
he was at least in the middle of a world war at
yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
But prior to the war, he decided to join the military. So kudos to him. He's one of the few. That's why there's a special breed. Respect to them.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, yeah. But again, to that, how can we though at least create that environment where we can see each other uh, without having to worry about inflicting violence or just see the world. I wish there was a time when
Yeah.
we can just freely go anywhere and interact with different people,
Yeah.
with different cultures where everybody at least respects each other. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
That's a
That's the
pipe
promised
dream.
land, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That sounds like heaven.
It's a utopia.
Sure.
It's not going to happen. I'm not optimistic, but we can imagine how we can create that world at least, or even try to um, try. That's it. Just
Yeah.
try. Why not?
There's a concept in the kung fu flicks, it's heaven on earth. But they say that in some of the movies, but it's also on the flip side, it's hell on earth too. So it's all happening all at the same time. Like it's such a beautiful and insane place all at the same time. Heaven on earth and hell on earth.
Hell on earth. Exactly. This could be it. Like hell and
I mean,
heaven
it definitely
at
is
the
for a lot
same
of
time.
people.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
a hell for a
For
lot
some
of
people,
people.
it's
Yeah.
heaven. For some
It
people, it's
it
hell.
definitely can be.
For some, it's both.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's reality, man. Who was that guy? If I have to quote him, I think it's Tom Waits. I hope I'm gonna quote him right. He once said, "Reality." I'm saying it in his voice. I've
Yeah.
always maintained that reality is for people who are afraid to face drugs. He said it in that way. It's Tom Waits, man. But fuck, it really burned deep inside my being when I heard that first. It's like, in a way, it's true. Since we were talking about the cartels a while ago, and it's part of the result of the war on drugs. right? And we,
Boo, war on drugs.
yeah,
What a fucking
I
joke.
love this line from Vice. We'd like to congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs. That was what they had in one of their
That's
documentaries. It was
hilarious.
the first line, I guess.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that again, our conversation with drugs, especially with our children,
Yeah.
and because we remember our parents' conversation about drugs with us, that you should just stay away from it. Why? Because it's drugs, it's bad. Is it?
Drums
If you want to
anyway.
introduce it to your kids, at least be present and guide them. Like drinking with your boy or your child when he or she is 18, and you're having that first drink with her. I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet, but
Hopefully
I
not anytime soon.
I do remember the time when I first tried to smoke in front of my father
Yeah, that's
for the
always
first time. I was like, yeah,
awkward.
I graduated already. It's my time. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna hide from you anymore.
Smoking in the house
Yeah,
now.
I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And but for me, it's a
That's
weird
hilarious.
thing now. It's like that's the goal. Like
Yeah.
for me, like just the act of smoking in front of my father
You
is like an
mean
accomplishment in a way.
yeah.
Like I'm a big boy now,
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah,
I can smoke in front of you because I graduated college.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a man now.
I'm a man, son.
Because I see them smoking all
Uh,
the time when I was a kid.
sure.
And when I
It's
asked
only
them,
something parents do
yeah, it
or
was a pretty
big
common
kids
thing. It
do.
was in the ads at that
Right,
time.
right, right.
Now it's different.
Yeah.
So of course I'm not gonna encourage my kids to smoke, but
Hopefully not.
even drinking. But if I have to drink with them, with her in the future, hopefully I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I would caution her with the effects of relying too much on alcohol
Hmm.
for your pleasures
Sure, sure.
and for whatever your
Relaxing
hedonistic
or whatever.
treadmill
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Whatever reason you tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't encourage her, but if I have to be the one to participate with her, if she wants to in the future, I would not discourage her as well. I'd
Mm.
welcome her to try it. Why not?
Yeah.
With
You would go to the grocery store and buy your kid like a
no,
12
no,
12
no, no.
pack.
When she's at least 18, that's the
Uh,
acceptable. But better if she's older. I hope she doesn't drink at all.
like your kid and her kindergarten friends are all getting drunk.
I started drinking when I was maybe, I don't know, 14.
Oh man, the
Yeah,
first time I ever smoked cigarettes was with you, dude. When
yeah.
we were in grade
I
school.
know,
What
right?
grade was that, man? We threw up. Oh, I mean, I
Uh,
through up anyways. I don't know about you. We tried to smoke a
oh
whole
yeah,
pack
I
of
remember that
cigarettes.
shit.
I think we just bought it from like the nearby sari sari man from
uh,
our nanay.
this curiosity.
Just throwing up in the
Oh.
toilet from smoking cigarettes.
That's the
Ridiculous.
problem with drugs because all we say is like, just don't do drugs. Why? Just don't.
Yeah,
It's bad.
yeah. That's a problem. The whole labeling of it in the
Yeah.
first place as a drug is a
Is
big
there a
problem.
real conversation with drugs with
It's
our kids?
it's
Did
just a
we?
compound.
Yeah. No, no. Let's say
Chemical.
at least an honest conversation with why some people do it. Mind you, not all drug users are rapists. Not all drug
Right.
users are addicts
Sure.
or killers or
Right,
fucking
right.
terrible parents or whatever labels a lot of people would like to put with associated with drugs. That's the whole problem now with the narrative, especially with the current war on drugs. Is that
Yeah.
every time
So many
somebody,
problems.
yeah, so have at least an honest conversation. When I say honest conversation with drugs, know the history about drugs at least with the prohibition era, with alcohol at that time. Why is it? Why do people take it in the first place? Why some people are go crazy when they do drugs? Maybe they have other
Yeah.
problems. So it's not like a blanket statement where you just put every fucking drug user in one box and label them
Right.
as such. That is a
It's
fucking
ridiculous.
yeah
You don't
dishonest thing.
you don't have to go to rehab for being hooked on like fried food.
True.
What the fuck is up with
Or
that?
caffeine.
Or caffeine, right? And these all
Jeez.
have very similar effects in our brains.
Yeah.
Food
My
is a
favorite
drug, man.
drug is
Food is a drug.
what? Alcohol and
Mine is
caffeine.
mine is food. I love food. It's a drug, dude. It's designed that way.
True.
literally designed that way. I would encourage people to go read into material. There's a really old one that I like called Biology, Buyology, and you get an idea of how much effort goes in to you buying a product. It's a ridiculous. I mean, they have some serious researchers thinking about how to get you to come back and buy this product. And they are willing to do the research, what kind of effects they have and what kind of chemical reactions happen in your brain when you eat something. People are studying this kind of stuff to make these products more addictive. And that's a problem.
Imagine that. Design it to make it more addictive.
Literally, maybe they don't use that word,
Yeah.
but for
But
sure,
there's a conscious decision there.
Yeah,
We were talking about evil a while ago, and that is just fucking evil.
it definitely can
It's
be.
wicked.
It
Yeah.
can be.
I mean,
sure.
consciously, you would do that knowing that people would get hooked to it, probably destroy their lives in the future, and you're just doing that because you know, and you can make some
Make a ridiculous amount of money.
amount of money
Yeah,
from it. Really?
yeah, yeah. That's why humans still suck, man. So,
Sometimes I know I'm too optimistic about the human race,
yeah.
but sometimes there's a part of me that really is. That just when a comet is heading this way, there's a part of me that's just smiling. Like,
Yeah,
maybe we
totally.
don't
It's like-
deserve to be here.
we don't deserve all this.
Like you're
awesomeness.
glad when it's gonna end because fuck man, the amount of violence and evil that we do to ourselves and to other people is so ridiculous that I'm willing to accept that we would disappear from reality. Like all of us, really.
Yeah,
But there's still some optimism in me left. I wake up every day hoping for that outcome. And that's what at least keeps me up every day and wanting to grow allow another human being to grow in this world is to try and propagate that idea of the post-human in the next generation. Maybe it's the wrong move. I don't know.
talking
But,
about an evolution of the
yeah,
human.
for at
evolving.
least where we're heading. That's just the romantic in me. I know, but I'm hoping that's the outcome. But
That meteor is coming, though, right? It's like
yeah,
you
eventually,
just can't
it's
avoid
not.
it.
It's not a question of if. It's a question of when. And also, isn't even worth it. Like really, like if we're just trying to survive, like get past the next 100 years, next 1,000 years,
Feels like we're just trying to
but
survive.
we're just gonna be doing the same shit over and over and over again. I couldn't imagine a future for human beings where 1,000 years from now you would still see torture videos online,
yeah.
like really.
Hopefully not.
And this is what we call a type 1 civilization if ever we get to that
Yeah.
spot or that level.
No
Holy
wonder we
fuck.
haven't gotten to Mars
Yeah,
yet.
I'd
Jeez,
rather
bro.
that the whole human race just disappears and maybe some cockroach in the future will
Yeah.
replace us and be better at
it's-
this whole shtick.
It's more efficient.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. You look at a beehive. I mean, a beehive is ridiculously efficient.
Let the bees take over.
Let the bees take over, man.
I don't care.
They have a
As
purpose.
long as there are some representatives on this planet somehow who will take the best parts or at least the best aspect of this experience and then move it to another planet. Oh, I don't know, but at least it should be the good in us that should leave this place, not the terrible parts.
Yeah.
Mostly
Not
our perception of
Not our
aliens who are
politics.
coming here are
Yeah.
mostly malevolent. Right? They're
Yeah.
trying to take our resources and everything.
Just like what we're gonna do on Mars.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we want to know
Yeah.
what's on Mars. Is like so we can get it and
Get
bring it
or
back
the
over
moon,
here.
I heard
and just use that shit.
they estimate that it's gonna be like in the trillions of dollars how much they can make money out of the minerals or
Really?
that they can get from asteroids even.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't be surprised
Yeah.
if China wants to get there first, Russia, the US. I personally have a bias with not with NASA at least. I
Yeah.
hope they win. It's a competition that's at least for me a good one, since the space race brought us this to this place between the Soviet Union and the United States. There was a lot of good things that came out of the space race.
Oh yeah.
So
The ISS is
the ISS,
incredible, dude.
it's
That thing
part of
is
that.
insane.
I know. So who knows? I mean, the only way we
And
can.
now they're talking about space hotels. I mean, wow.
Would you? I mean, if you could go
Hell
there for free,
yes.
for free.
Oh yeah.
All right. Why
In a
not?
heartbeat, dude.
Oh.
If it was just like, I got to save up a couple years for my salary.
Oh.
I'm like, let's go, like, in 2024.
Oh.
I'm down with that.
What's the motivation, though? I mean, we already have photographs of the Earth where we can see it
Yeah,
with our
but I mean,
phones.
just like anything
But
else,
just
a
traveling there is
photograph
different, right?
it's never
it's
as
never
awesome.
as awesome as when you're actually there.
No, dude, nothing is
I
better
know.
than being there. I mean, if you watch the meteor shower on the TV, like it's nothing, dude. Like compared to watching it
Watching it.
on the
Or
sky,
with the
it's
telescope,
epic,
right?
dude.
I mean, we have a telescope.
It's
And
ridiculous.
when we look at the planets through the lens and see that with our own eyes, it's way different
Yeah,
than just looking at your phone for a photo of Jupiter or
Right, right.
Saturn. So there's a big difference there when you're. So yeah.
there is no comparison. I mean, how many pictures of a sunset have you actually watched, and then like been sitting on the beach somewhere looking at a sunset, like, yeah, this is just like that photo. Like, there's no photo that's just like that sunset because it's
Right.
so much more better. It's so incredible when you get to see it and
True.
experience the whole change in color. It's like I still remember this the epic sunsets in California because in summertime the summers are much later in the day, in nighttime even. Yeah, the sun is only starting to go down at night, at that normal nighttime hour. You imagine, I mean, here in the Philippines we have basically 12-hour days, and it never changes all year round. But man, you had some epic sunsets in places like California
Or in Hawaii.
or in Hawaii.
Right.
I was in Maui once, and there was a incredible sunset, and the sun had already set over the horizon, but it was like the water was like pulling the colors of the sunset from the horizon into the foreground. Like, it was just like, yeah, this is the most incredible sunset I've ever.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's so many amazing things in Hawaii, but a sunset in Hawaii is
It's
incredible.
epic.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I
could-
wish
I
I
could barely imagine. This is like, real life is so awesome.
But I wonder how it's going to change our perspective, though, as collectively as human beings. Let's say space travel will be normalized, at least in the not so near future,
Not
where we
that
can just
far.
go
Yeah,
suborbital.
they're already talking about
Yeah,
it.
we can just fly. Let's say at a low cost. You can
Yeah.
see the Earth.
Probably not low
suborbital.
cost, but
Yeah, but let's just say it's
like
pretty
lower
normalized.
cost.
I wonder how, if we, I wonder how it could change our perspective of ourselves as a species.
Oh, it'd be incredible, man. Can you imagine go to a space retreat?
Yeah,
It's just like go to outer space for like a week, and you just get to get away from Earth.
yeah. I'm hoping.
Just get away from Earth for the weekend.
Right. I'm hoping that would be the case.
Oh, dude, it'd be incredible.
But the realist in me say that a lot of us would be taking photographs, selfies, and then our face would be bigger than the planet, right? Because you're doing the duck
You'd
face,
be holding the whole planet in your
holding
hand.
the whole planet. It would be about you
Of course. dude.
rather than the
Of course.
perspective of I'm just a minuscule part
yeah.
of the whole blue ball
Yeah.
that's floating in space. And my realization upon seeing this magnificent, beautiful planet is just, I'm just a small part of it. But probably we would just be taking a selfie, and our
selfie.
face would be bigger than the planet. That's my prediction. And
Yeah.
if somebody's listening to it and it's happening, I told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see it happening that way, man. For now.
Yeah.
the devices we have right now are basically windows to our eyes or experience,
Sure. Yeah.
but we occupy it with our images, ourself, in the canvas that we create or
Mm.
we project to others. I'm not saying it's bad or it's terrible when people or vain when people like to post a lot of pictures of themselves. I mean, that's your right. I
Sure.
have,
Whatever.
yeah, whatever.
That's
But
your thing.
for me, it's a waste of opportunity where you can show them in first person mode the experience itself when you're taking a photograph. And there's a lot to see. And for me, myself being in the canvas is a distraction. That's why I don't like having myself photographed. That's just me. I mean, it works differently for other people, but for me, the canvas is my experience, my perspective. I like taking photographs or videos of my point of view rather than me being in the picture
Mm.
itself. For me, it's a distraction. So I don't know. There are ways, but that's just one idea that I have. It's like maybe we can focus on letting people know on the experience that you're seeing rather than just focusing on ourselves. Oh yeah,
Come
see,
back
all
and
right. So we'll be
talk
back,
about
people.
shoot the
Just,
shit, man. Take a
just
couple more drinks and not think about death.
well, just gonna pause for a while. We'll be back. I pressed the wrong button.
Oh,
Anyway, we can
and we're
just
back.
stitch it up. Yeah, well,
Wel-
now we're back.
Welcome back to
We just took a
Tatay
quick
Talks.
break.
This is the long form,
Yeah.
my friends. So if you are still here with us, hallelujah.
Are you? Like, why are you listening to us?
Yeah,
You should be
what the
listening to
fuck are you
yourself.
doing?
You should be listening to yourself. We got nothing profound to say, you know?
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of dudes trying to figure shit out.
And on
Obviously, we don't have it
yeah,
figured out.
and just before we hit the record button, you're touching on some aspects there for
Um, my pessimism, I guess, on the future.
so what's so bad about it? I mean, there's a high
Uh,
recovery rate, right? You're talking about COVID, or are you talking
no,
about some
in general. I
the
was talking about,
human race
yeah,
in
for those
general?
who are following, if you're still here, we're talking about the end game for us.
Yeah, or the beginning,
The
depending on
beginning of the end. This is the
whatever you
beginning
think.
of the end. Maybe I'm just pessimistic. Rightfully so, I think.
I mean, it's not a bad time to be
Yeah.
pessimistic, I guess, because a lot of people are.
I'm not banking too much on the idea since in just a while ago I was being optimistic, right? Talking about the future and ideally how we
Well,
can build a society
We're going to
where
Mars, man.
yeah,
We're gonna
where
build this society on Mars, dude.
everybody is just fine and dandy. We are type 1 civilization exploring the cosmos and sending our shit to other planets and moons and other parts of the
Literally,
galaxy.
literally,
Literally.
offloading that septic tank in the sky.
Yeah, but on the other hand, there is this reality where we just blow ourselves up, shoot
Or
ourselves
we
in the
get
head.
blown up.
We get blown up, not just
Or we
by
blow
nature,
ourselves
but we commit, I would call it mass suicide.
Krypton, yo.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what
Krypton.
we're talking about. Krypton.
Yeah, I mean, since we're fond of the whole idea of exterminating ourselves, how many people are killing themselves every year? Don't you think the human species itself is capable of killing itself? Of course it is. We are literally doing it now. This is a way of I call it. I'd like to imagine it as a species literally killing itself, choking itself. And when we go, there will be others who will replace us. Maybe the lesser, what we call now the lesser species, the bottom of the food chain, but soon they will be the ones who are in charge. You forget in the time of the dinosaurs, we were just burrowing under the ground, trying to protect ourselves from them. And then when the comet came for them, it was our time then, right? It came out, and now we're here. And it's not too far-fetched where we end up like them, except we did it ourselves. We don't have to wait for a comet. But
No, we
I'm
don't.
not too
Not at
optimistic
all.
about it, man. Yeah, that's just my take on it. The way things are going right now. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I hope so. I don't know what is right or wrong anymore. But
One thing that I got to learn in Hawaii was this saying, "Land is chief."
land is
Land
chief.
is chief. Yeah, that really stuck with me, and that was a big reason why I started volunteering on farms. Was it's still very prevalent in their culture to be respectful, regardless of how much fishing goes on in the area and stuff like that. There is a level of acknowledgement that this planet provides sustenance, and so we
Mm,
need to respect it. And that was one thing that I always appreciated about that culture, was that it
mm,
was, it was, you couldn't really hide from it. Like, people were talking about it. People were kind of hunting their own food, whether it was in the mountain, hunting wild boars,
mm,
or going spearfishing. So there was a certain level of acknowledgement, even for city people. City people would go out to the beach because it's very accessible and go spearfishing, and that was not uncommon.
oh,
And that's something that I haven't seen here in the Philippines, was that kind of respect where people are getting tattoos of octopuses, and they're really beautiful, by the way.
mm,
If you ever get to see some of those Polynesian design tattoos, of some of these, like, stingrays or turtles, man, they're so beautiful.
mm,
I would really love to know what that kind of culture is like here, because I haven't really seen it. It's not very prevalent when we go
mm.
to the beach areas. I don't, there's a lot of trash and things
Most
like
people
that.
just kill whatever they see if it
Yeah.
gives them some profit. I mean, we've heard that
I'm
story in our farm before.
in our farm alone, just the beach area
Mm,
nearby where our farm is, that's a breeding ground for turtles, and
used to be.
used to be, and it's only very occasional that you get to see something like that, which is very unfortunate, right?
Uh,
Because there are places in Oahu where you can just go take the bus, get off the bus, and there's just sea turtles all over the beach.
I see.
Incredible,
Yeah,
man.
that's a good
Incredible.
point. I totally agree with you. My problem with it is that I can't let's say justify myself because I'm part of the problem. That's why I admire your lifestyle in a way because I see the problem, but I'm part of the problem because I'm not doing anything.
We're all part of the problem.
Yeah, yeah, we
We're
are. That's
humans.
true.
That's the part of the
But
problem.
but for me specifically, I am aware of it. And the problem is, we talked about this before, right? Like with regards to slavery, um, it was normalized at that time. Yeah, you're part of the problem, but because the economy depends on it at that time, then you would be forced to participate on it, or it was so normalized that, in a way, you were just cool with it. It's the same thing with what's happening right now. I mean, for most of us,
Slavery is still happening
it's still
today
happening today. It's not unique to African Americans. It was happening with white people,
here in the
with brown
Philippines. I
people.
mean,
Yeah,
shit.
with regards to being on the issue of speciesism, at least now it's or at this point it's so normalized that most people wouldn't understand why some people prefer a certain lifestyle to alleviate at least the conditions for some of the animals on this planet.
Mm,
That's usually the case, right? The decision to do that, the ethical awareness, right?
mm.
That animals are suffering because of our. Do we really have to have these type of diet every day to survive? Since that's the accepted reality that we are in, and I'm part of it. I still eat pork every day, beef, name it,
Sure.
everything, every type of meat.
I did too. I did too.
I'm aware of the suffering of every animal out there every time I try to survive every day. And I still can't wrap my head around the part where you have to let go of that. If
Yeah.
you want to start something, to at least in this reality, since we were talking about the wickedness, the amount of suffering another human being can inflict on another human being, and then after that, I'm sure we would be thinking about the conditions of other. We are already thinking about that, right? Trying to save the whales, or at
Mm.
least
Yeah.
some selective. We have this selective thing with other mammals that we have to save. But
Mm.
we step on ants every day
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
kill them because they're a pest. I mean, that's just the reality of it, and we can't get away from that fact that there's a lot of killings in nature that has to go to 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 transpire for us to survive. But I do still think that maybe there is a way to, as I've said, minimize the amount of suffering for any organism or species that is able to process pain, at least physical pain.
Yeah.
There should be a way in down the line in the future, and that's one. Some
That
people choose vegan diet.
that's the goal of the vegan.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
The vegan
I
diet
understand.
is
I know why it gets criticized, but I get it.
yeah.
I get the idea.
That's the part that you're talking about is you're touching on like compassion for all living things,
Mm.
and I'm
In
still
some
like
religions in India, they take good care of the rats, and they would
yeah,
feed it,
yeah, that's
and
right.
they wouldn't harm it.
I've seen
So
that.
yeah, I'm not making fun of it.
No,
That's their
no,
belief. Yeah.
whatever. That's they believe it's their family.
Mm. Why not? I mean, could be.
So it's not
Who knows?
outrageous. It's not
Well,
it's not that ridiculous.
just like the idea of, let's say, what if this virus is a way of the planet of minimizing or some sort of pest control
Yeah,
for
some
human beings
natural
that are
pest
fucking
control.
it up?
Yeah.
Like really? I mean, I know
We are fucking it
a
up
lot of
here,
people
that's for
died,
sure.
and I feel so sad and sorry for every human death because of this virus. But it's not so far fetched to think about the planet as a super organism and
No,
trying to recalibrate itself.
that's not outrageous.
Who
It's
knows?
like purging.
I don't
It's
know.
like you know people do these juice cleanse. It's like the earth cleanse.
That's why.
The earth is cleansing itself from this virus that they call humans.
It's like Agent Smith
Yeah.
when he's talking to Morpheus when he was under
Oh my
interrogation.
god.
So human beings are a virus.
Yeah, it is such a good time to watch The Matrix. By
I
the
know.
way, I was getting
That was such a good movie.
I was doing some sound bits from that not too long ago. I was like, this movie is so good for
Yeah.
the 2021.
I know, right? Never gets old.
Oh, it's so good.
That's why there's so many possibilities, and of course we've been here fairly long enough in terms of human.
Not in terms of the
Somewhere in
Earth,
the middle, yeah, on the Earth. Just a few revolutions.
we're still pretty new.
But in the grand scale of things, we're shit. I know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
They're
we're
nothing.
We're just some
basically.
bacteria on the
Yeah,
Earth.
basically nothing in a time scale. It's not even a blink of an eye in terms of the cosmic scale. But in Earth scale, yeah, we've been around. But even as human beings, compared to 6 billion years, that's nothing. Like literally nothing. So again, going back to that question of how that perspective of us seeing for our own eyes the planet itself. You remember that blue marble photograph from Apollo 17, right?
Sure,
That
sure.
picture when you search the Earth, a photo of space, and you see the whole Earth being illuminated by the sun because the sun was way behind Apollo, the moon at that time when Apollo 17
Good
was there.
lighting.
Yeah, and they took that
Epic
photo
lighting.
called the blue marble, and it's one of the most magnificent, beautiful
The
photographs.
Earth is in a good light.
Exactly, I've seen. It's
That's so
almost like how do you comprehend a tick on your head and you look at the mirror and they see the whole picture of
Yeah.
where they're standing?
Yeah.
If I have to describe the feeling of looking at the blue marble photograph, it would be that. Not even a tick. A tick is much bigger than us on Earth
Yeah.
in terms of scale. So if I were a human being and I would see a photograph of the planet, I would see the face of a different kind of animal, a different kind of
Everything.
yeah, everything. And now, of course, the photo, mind you, the photograph that you see of the galaxy is not the actual photograph of the Milky Way. That's a representation of the Milky Way based on a spiral galaxy that we see all around the universe. So it's just a idea that we are a spiral galaxy based on the structure of our galaxy. So this is most likely how the Milky Way looks like. But still, then that's another photograph of us being part of this immense. I don't know how to describe it, but let's say being. Okay, I don't want to call it alive. Yes, it's alive because of us, and it could be alive because of a lot of us. Could be something, but when you look at the mirror, you see yourself again. When you look at the photograph of the Earth, we see us, everything, and we see a photograph of the Milky Way, or at least a representation. We see something bigger, and it gets bigger and bigger. I wonder that every time when we see bigger, does it diminish our humanity, or does it elevate our view of how special or not
Yeah. Well,
we are in this place? Yeah, that's why people don't listen to us, because we don't know shit.
this is not.
We ask the same questions I'm sure that you have right now, and we are trying to explore that with philosophy, science, and art.
Yeah. This is the art part.
Yeah, this is the art part.
Not the science part.
But we are just as oblivious as every human being on this planet. Every father who's trying to figure out why I have to do this every day. And of course, we all want the best things for our children, the best future that we can get from it, and hopefully we can work together. We can work together in creating that future, and through our children. I really believe, the romantic in me really believes that we can create a society where that possibility, where consciousness becomes a collective thing in service of representing this planet and this species. We as Homo sapiens, the clear representatives who are now currently exploring space, should represent the best of our abilities, not the worst of our capabilities. My
Yeah.
God, what am I saying?
Yeah. So on that note, and thinking about like those smut videos that you're talking about, is that
Yeah.
something that you're gonna
Yeah, and it's out there.
Are you gonna expose that to your daughter at some point in her
No,
life?
definitely not.
Like
But
maybe you should watch this.
yeah, no, definitely
you're
not.
You're not thinking that.
No. But
Okay.
if she ever
I know, definitely not.
stumbles, if you ever stumble
Don't forget.
upon it, one of these
Yeah.
days, understand that
This
not
is-
every human being feels that way. Not
Yeah.
every human being acts that way.
Has compassion or empathy.
Yeah, be
or-
aware that some human beings are just wicked. Some human psychotic, even
Yeah.
evil.
Totally.
I understand that.
Heaven and earth.
Yeah, but
Hell
there
on
are
earth.
people like your Dada and your Papa Ben here trying to
Trying to figure it out.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Trying to at least find the good in us. Don't travel without
that's right.
doing your research.
Yeah.
That's a warning, and I'm being serious here.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, happy National Heroes Day. I hope the next generation can create more heroes.
Yeah, we were paying homage to some of the Paralympians, and I was just thinking earlier that it was a really great privilege to be able to train with Paralympians back when I was at the Stanford Judo team. Yeah, it just so happens my instructor, he was going to be, when they had the Olympics in Beijing, he was the coach for the Paralympian judo team. And it just so happened I was training at that same place. So there was like, I think I was like my second year in,
Mm.
and these athletes were coming in, and they're what they call the visually impaired. It was such a privilege to be able to get to see how they live independently
Mm.
and train for the highest level of competition in their life,
Despite the
despite their
say
whatever you want to
yeah.
call it, limited abilities
Mm.
to our natural understanding of how the human is supposed to operate.
Mm.
These people defy it, man. It's like I made really good friends with them, and that's basically all we did was our lives revolved around judo. We would our spare time after on the weekends when just relaxing, we would be with our instructor watching judo videos, and that's like that was just basically life.
Mm.
And to get to know some of these people, like they can cook, they have fully independent jobs, and they are what we consider blind.
Damn.
Yeah, some of them are completely blind and totally independent. And yeah, there's some inspiring people there in the Paralympics.
And you're glad that you met them, right? I mean, that's
Oh,
part of the
come,
traveling part where we talked about
yeah.
how we would at least we did that before. We
Mm,
traveled into some places, and you wouldn't be able to experience that perspective if you didn't travel.
right,
That's also at least
totally.
just to be optimistic about it, that freedom and allowing yourself or your kids to experience things is that can be the result, right?
Yeah.
Your experience with knowing people like that.
So it turned out that my instructor was friends, excuse me, with another coach in the nearby area. And this other coach was a former Olympian
Mm.
in judo and then became a judo Olympian coach.
Mm.
And then him and his partner started a foundation called the Blind Judo Foundation.
Blind Judo
Blind
Foundation.
Judo.
I bet these people can kick my ass any day.
They can kick a lot of people's ass for sure. And the only rule difference with blind judo is that you start holding each other, because normally in a judo match you start with no grips.
Mm.
And in blind judo, the only difference of the rule is you start with neutral grips.
Mm.
So you each hold a collar and then a sleeve, and then that's how you start. So it's pretty neutral.
Mm.
And that was an amazing experience. And I've been to, they had like a convention for not just visually impaired, but for different limited capabilities, whether they might have like a amputee or whatever. They have like conventions for that kind of stuff, and people can go, and they would go promote blind judo. So I got to go to one of those like small conferences or conventions and get to meet more people. Like a good friend of mine that I met during that time. His name is Greg. He placed bronze in China for judo in his weight category. So he represented the country, and he got bronze, which was a pretty. And I got to see the medal. I got to like hold it. I took a picture of it. I took a picture of him of his gi and the medal, and it was like, it said Beijing on it. It's got the little Olympic design. It was like pretty awesome to see, man. And I was like, wow. It's really amazing to learn about. There's a, I don't know if they call it a school or it's just like a place where they learn to be independent.
Mm.
And so they learn things like I was listening to these stories where they'll go take you into the city environment and drop you off. This is like a test for them. If they can navigate in the city by themselves with, like
aid.
no gadgets,
Yeah.
no nothing to help them.
No dogs, no
No
aids.
dog,
Yeah.
no. So they use things like the sounds of the cars to know if they're far from the main streets, like a sense that we all have
Mm.
that we just don't get in touch with, right? And that's the downside, right? Because people are so scared of the dark. Like, why
Yeah.
the fuck are you scared of the dark? Do you realize what people with no vision can
Yes.
do?
Darkness is basically just absence of light. With Papado, the whole sound meditation thing.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, I saw some bright colors though. That was pretty trippy. You could definitely see some. I don't know. I don't know what it means to be blind though, but I could imagine at least seeing something.
it's incredible, man. It's so inspiring to know these stories about some of these Paralympians and
Yeah.
what they're able to do. And they compete at the highest level, man. To be able to train with the high level professionals is something else.
Well, damn. Okay. It's just it's crazy to think though that the motivation behind that drive to succeed at something despite again the
Yeah,
abilities
yeah,
that some of these people have and still perform
yeah,
to some degree a higher level to what they're capable of.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's to me those people, those are heroes right there. I mean,
Yeah.
every single one of them, no matter what the outcome is. Wow, man, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's inspiring too because it's
Wow.
like we got like all our senses for now at least in tune to whatever the reality is, but
Yeah.
some people lose their sight and still decide to participate in an activity that requires that sense, but try to elevate some game
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In pursuit of I don't know, but that's just human beings, and it's beautiful. I think.
You want to hear a interesting story? My that good friend of mine, his name is Greg, and
Mm.
he would talk about his story at some of these conventions, and so what happened is that he tried to commit suicide, but basically the whole face was gone.
Yeah, and
Eyes are gone. You know, your nose is totally
oof.
fucked up. He had to breathe. Dude, this guy has to breathe through like plastic cones to keep the structure of the airways
Mm.
so that he can breathe. And this guy is competing at the highest fucking level of sports competition known to humans. And it's like this.
I mean, yeah, what a story. Just
It's incredible.
yeah, of course, it's
I love that
tragic.
guy,
Yeah, it's
man.
tragic at the same time incredible.
Yeah,
Just the fact itself that you were about to give up, since
and he
obviously,
turned it
yeah, it
around, dude.
turned it
Just
around.
wow,
My goodness, I mean
it's incredible.
that's crazy. Yeah, wow.
And that's just one story amongst the Paralympians. You
Yeah.
know, let alone how difficult it is to compete at the highest level. I mean, one thing that I was very fortunate because I was exposed to an Olympic coach who is a former Olympian
Mm.
to see the level of judo in his academy was ridiculous, man. I'll tell you this. This one time I was practicing at their dojo, and this is in San Bruno in south of San Francisco.
Mm.
And you can go to Willie Cahill's gym or dojo, and there are some, you know, at least at that time, there were older guys like judo masters, dude.
Mm.
And I remember this older Japanese guy. I think his name was like Sensei Yoshi something, and I can't remember his last name. But
Master Splinter.
yeah, Master Splitter, basically. So it was like sparring time for the session, and I sparred with this guy, and he must have been, you know, at least 60 years old.
Mm.
And I was still in my mid 20s or something like that, and I could barely move this guy.
Mm.
He would just stand there and he let me like grip his gi, and I
Yeah.
tried to move him, dude, and he was just like a fucking tree. It was crazy. It blew my mind, man. I was like, what is happening? Like normally I throw people, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you throw each other in sparring. I couldn't move it, man. It was so insane.
But
It's like,
imagine this. I know it's hard to comprehend how he does it, but
I
imagine,
have no
yeah,
idea.
imagine going through that and then having survived something that traumatic, let's say it is, and then having these challenges presented, it would be like easy peasy for you now, right? I mean, sometimes it gives you the hardest challenges or obstacles and even trauma that you experience, and if you survived it, it would somehow give you the ability to overcome some challenges that some people may find like absurd, like how the hell do you do this every
Yeah.
day? But for them it's just like, fuck, I've been through worse.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Sure.
me it's just like, okay, it's nothing. Maybe for us humans, it's normal humans, it's just like extraordinary. For them it's like a walk in the park
Yeah.
because of the experience that they've gained from that
It's another. It's
trauma.
another level.
It's another level,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's beyond my comprehension. Apparently.
So there's something in there. That's why I admire that in a way, that outlook from them, stemming from hope. Because some of these people, especially from that story that you said a while ago, like losing all hope, just I'm just gonna end this, and then
Just end it,
somehow you
man.
survived, and
And wow.
it turned out for the worst, and at the same time could have been something that gave you a lot of motivation to go on.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that scene from The Matrix again, the second movie, Revolutions. The
Revolution.
architect, you remember the architect, right? When Neo was presented
Yeah.
with this dilemma whether he saves Trinity or not, and the architect just goes, just coughs at him like,
Yeah.
humans, our hope is the quintessential human delusion, simultaneously the source of their greatest, what was it, I forgot, the greatest, anyway, something like your greatest, our aspect of our being, and at the same time simultaneously the worst. So he was talking about hope, but Neo was still hopeful. Anyway, that's the point. So a lot of us just have that, like even if you see the most the fucked up shit you've seen in this world, and you still manage to just go on and living. I mean, what's the point, right? I admire these people. It's like, God damn it, you can still wake up
Yeah.
every day and find things that are inspiring, that you would go on, even if you've seen like you remember Yeonmi Park, right? The North
North
Korean,
Korean.
yeah, yeah,
Got some
yeah.
awesome videos
She's
lately.
she's got a lot of positive, at least for me personally, positive aspect of my
Incredible human.
incredible human.
Yeah. Wow.
If you don't know her, she's everywhere. Just search for Yeonmi Park.
Yeah.
You can see her
Lex
on
Friedman.
Lex Friedman, Joe Rogan. Who else?
Awesome interviews.
Jordan Peterson. Every podcast
Yeah.
available there. Listen to her story. I implore you. Everyone who's listening right now, at least consider what she's gone through. This lady. I mean, she's a beautiful soul. I find her story very inspiring. For me, at least, that I complain a lot, and every day I wake up, it's like, fuck, I have a good life, and I remember her. I remember every struggle she's been through. I mean, I've heard a lot of fucked up stories as well, way before Yeonmi Park. Anne Frank is one of them.
Sure.
It resonates because it's famous.
So
She has
many
a diary.
slaves.
Yeah, that's
So
why
many.
the survivors are usually the famous ones, the stories that they tell.
Yeah.
Anne Frank is one of them through her diaries. And I have this VR experience with Anne Frank that
Really?
is really fucking insane.
Wow.
It's good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, good in bad, of course, because I feel sorry for
That's
the
gotta
whole
be terrible
experience.
to
Yeah,
listen to.
yeah, you get to experience where she was
Uh.
hiding the whole time, and just imagining in this room and in its VR.
Wow.
So I hope someday
That's
somebody
intense,
makes a
man.
VR experience with Yeonmi Parks.
Oh man.
That would be awesome
Jesus.
for human beings. Not awesome. I wouldn't want to use
Yeah,
that word.
Not awesome.
Definitely not
Not
sorry.
at all.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Not awesome. At least an eye-opening experience
Yeah.
of, cause
And
just
maybe
hearing.
maybe an awesomely
Yeah.
eye-opening experience.
Because
Like,
for now, I have an auditory experience of her experience, and I
Yeah.
get to hear it
from her stories.
and imagine it,
Yeah.
and then
I don't even know
I
if I can
can.
imagine it.
I'm not claiming I can
ridiculous.
experience her pain, but
No.
in my mind, it's fucked up.
It's so
And how much more if we get to experience the pain, like
Yeah.
actually being there. If you're walking in the desert, being cold, trying not to die, and you would experience the cold. Let's say there is a reality in the future we were able to do that. Would you subject yourself to that experience? My question,
Yeah.
would you subject yourself to a simulation, let's say, for you to understand better
Sure.
reality?
Because maybe it would take a lifetime to experience
Hmm.
some things that some atrocious things, and you would want to know, how do I respond in that
Yeah,
kind
right.
of situation?
S-
Maybe it helps. I don't know.
So it should be safe to say, let's
The
say, if
variant.
this is a simulation, are we consciously subjecting ourselves to this experience? Because some of us hate it, some of us love it, some of us both. I
Yeah.
love and hate it
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
at the same time. But I would imagine, let's say, if the simulation hypothesis is correct, I wouldn't
Sure.
imagine myself subjecting myself to this
To what
consciously.
I'm doing right now.
Yeah, to what I'm doing right, experiencing.
Sure. I could think
That's
of like a
why,
lot more beneficial, like King the Conqueror,
yeah, yeah.
like that. I would do that. Like, yeah, let's just figure out how this shit works. How long could you rule time?
Exactly. But there's a part of me that's glad that I'm able to process this. That somehow, if I wake up in another reality, I would be able to at least tell myself that I've been through that extreme experience of being a human, what it means to feel love and pain
Hmm.
and evil and goodness at the same time, wickedness, everything. But I wouldn't imagine myself subjecting to that experience. The
Yeah.
same way I had the same questions of having kids,
Hmm.
because one of the reasons why I didn't want to have kids when I was young is because I already knew how fucked up this world is.
Yeah.
And I told myself, there's no way I'm going to bring another human being on this planet knowing what I know presently.
Yeah.
But still, I did.
Right. Right.
So now I'm stuck with this shit. I have to show her the world for
Yeah.
what it is.
I think what you're touching on a little bit is a little bit about collective consciousness, right? Like, why do we experience pain
Mm,
generally in the same way as humans, from generation to generation? You know, the experience of pain is generally the
yeah,
same. So there must be some kind of mechanism where the experience of pain gets handed down through the next
to the
generation.
next
And
generation.
how is that? Because pain is more like a feeling more than it is like the color of our skin,
Mm,
right? So how do we collectively understand what pain is? If we get eaten by alligator,
mm.
we all kind of collectively consider that as a painful
It's a
experience.
painful, and we wouldn't want that, right?
But how would we know that
Yeah,
other than some kind of collective
yeah,
consciousness
yeah,
getting passed through the generations? So
yeah.
what actually is that? And that's always interesting. Like, is that handed on through our DNA, through some? That's not genetic, right? Like, that's an experience that
Oh,
we
yeah.
understand
Yeah, but we
together.
understand it because we know pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
we
have
get
to. I don't
burned.
have to tell you that if some wild animal comes across and bites your foot off,
Ah,
that's gonna suck, because you're gonna know that. But how do we know that together? Which
true.
is which is interesting.
But why though?
Why
I've,
do
I,
we know that? Right?
I've
As
always asked why. I mean, it's fucked up that already that we are aware we are this conscious, but at the same time, it's sad that so much suffering is going on, and I don't know if this by design this is the thing that we must go through.
well, it's what we're experiencing.
Yeah, but it's a reality. So I guess there's no choice but to just go with it.
Experience it day to day, man.
I'm sorry, people. Yeah, you just gotta fucking wake up every day and have to feel happy or sad
Or both
or both
at the same
at the same
time, every
time.
minute of every day, man.
Yeah, and
That's how life is.
there's something beautiful and somber at the same time with that. That's why I think with the collective consciousness that we talked about a while ago, if there is a way that we can share each other's experience and like fully comprehend it, understand, and maybe it could be AI that would collect all the information that we have, not just information as is, that we know as facts, but information as to how we can understand emotions from other people,
Hmm.
empathize with it, feel it. I think that would elevate our existence, elevate our consciousness in the future
Hmm.
if we're able to fully feel how another human being feels. For now, it's impossible, right? We can tell each other like how I feel. I can be vulnerable right now and tell you how I feel,
Hmm.
but I don't think anybody would fully understand how I truly feel.
Hmm.
But there could be a way where that consciousness can be transmuted, transformed, and then sent to another,
Transmitted.
yeah, transmitted to another human being, and then fully comprehend that. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I understand now. Like
Hmm.
how you truly feel, because I've experienced, if time can be manipulated and then we can live it from different perspectives, and we would understand maybe, like, okay, if I can live your life in one lifetime, I would
Hmm.
have the chance, and I would understand how you how,
Yeah.
how you lived.
Hmm.
And that would be better for me as
Sure.
an individual.
Yeah.
And maybe that that could be it. That's the whole point of reincarnation, whatever um system of belief that you have. I don't know for sure. But it could be a way, right? So who knows, if there is a computer program that is that on that level technologically advanced enough to collect all the information that we have right now
Hmm.
and share it, and this experience that we're having right now could just be some sort of a conduit to
Hmm.
a higher experience that we don't know of. We're just individually collecting
Hmm.
information right now.
Superorganisms, where
Yeah,
it's kind
just
of
just
what you're touching on.
going to a superorganism. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know shit, man. I'm just
It
rambling here.
makes a lot of it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It almost doesn't and does at the same time. It's like, why?
uh,
What is the purpose of all this for some superorganism that we're killing each other
mm,
and doing all this madness, making clothes? It's like, what kind of bacteria virus does
yeah,
that?
that
Does it
does
make
that.
clothes?
All I know is that, yeah, hopefully somebody doesn't take a picture of the planet Earth with their face on a fucking canvas just bigger than the planet itself. So you people in the future is listening right now,
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
just stop it with the whole selfie bullshit thing. My goodness, I'm sick and tired of that shit, man.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's still
If
happening.
it
It's
if,
gonna
if it
happen.
hasn't happened already.
Yeah.
Those got to be some epic selfies, man, on the
On the moon.
ISS.
I probably
It's
do it when I get there.
crazy.
It's like, fuck you people, I'm in
Yeah,
space.
man. A sunrise like you
I'm
can't
a
even
hypocrite.
imagine, man.
Yeah, I know.
Coming around behind the horizon of Earth. Like, oh my God, that's such an epic shot right there.
Right?
Crazy. And then like the planets are aligned and you get to
Uh,
like take that picture. It's like, wow. The moon and Mars and
uh,
Venus. Like, Jesus Christ.
yeah, that's why buy a telescope. Every parent out there should
Oh,
have at
yeah.
least one telescope. Show your kids another planet, or at least the moon. Show your
Yeah.
kids the stars.
Or even the deep sea. There was a there's
Yeah,
did you see that
yeah, the
did you see
deep
that
sea.
recent story? There was a pnoy who
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
crew for the
True.
deepest
They
expedition
they had a record.
on
I
the
just forgot.
planet.
Yeah. True.
Awesome. Awesome, man. I mean,
Explore
how
your world.
incredible is that?
Good.
Pinoys are out there, man. We're at
Mm,
the edge of exploration.
I know.
We're at the frontier, man. Like, yeah, we're who's going to be the first Pinoy to go to Mars? It's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
awesome.
Could be your child. Who
Could be,
knows?
right?
Yeah. Anybody
Could
who's
be.
listening, that's
Yeah.
why. Encourage them, but nobody wants to die on
It's
Mars.
not that, yeah, it's not that outrageous.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to die there, for
Yeah.
sure.
Somebody in Europe thought about it. Like, I should go to this place where I don't even know if it exists. Like, it's not even on the map, but
It's not even real
yeah,
yet.
it's just an idea.
Yeah,
Some
it's
people
just an
think
idea.
that maybe the world is round.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I know that idea has been around. Eratosthenes, I forgot his name, but even the Greeks figured it out
Yeah.
way before that the Earth was round, just
How
by doing
incredible is that?
a few measurements that made sense. And now still people believe that the world is flat. So F you guys, I don't know.
We're not flat earthers, right?
Yeah. But some people figured it out a long time ago. And some people sailed knowing or trusting their captain that they're going to take them somewhere.
Yeah.
And Philippines just happens to be a part of the history. The first man to circumnavigate the whole world. It was not Magellan, actually. It was his...
Yeah.
because he died along the way. Filipinos killed him.
Yeah.
And Pinoys are proud of that. We killed Magellan.
Took the
We
head,
stopped him from
motherfucker.
circumnavigating the world.
Yeah. We did that shit. We did that shit.
Yeah. But some people are just do that. You know, there will be explorers. There will be people who are willing to...
Pinoys are explorers, man.
Yeah, we are.
That's a part of our nature.
Yeah. And when we get to Mars, and the next destination will be who will be the first out of the solar system, and it will go on, and who will get to the edge of the galaxy, another galaxy.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go on and on and on and on, and the universe is gonna die, and that's it. And nobody knows what happens next, and when it dies, maybe it will conflate and deflate and conflate, and it's gonna birth a new universe, and it's just gonna start all over again. People are just gonna start killing each other again, you know, and it never stops, and that's it.
You have high hopes, do you? You have high hopes.
That's why it's so hard living every day, just knowing that what is the point.
Yeah.
But when you see your child's eye every day, you see hope, you see yourself. It's like, I can live maybe longer when I teach them some shit, because through me and through them I get to live. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
We're gonna be back soon. Gonna play some music while we're at it.
Yeah, man.
So thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. This is Tatay Time with Papa Loy,
Papa Ben.
Papa Ben, and Daddy on Soldiers, and we'll be back soon. Thanks again, and good night.